Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Demystify Selling with Microsoft. And I'm excited for my two guests today. So, Sarah Lutsiv and Taha Husain, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us, Rob. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And I'm excited because I don't get to talk biz apps that often. And I think this is one of the biggest growth areas for Microsoft. So I'm excited for the conversation. But before we get started, maybe Sarah, we'll start with you. Is You can just give our audience a little background about you and where you land in the Microsoft ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Sarah Lutsiv, and I'm a senior technology specialist for Microsoft. I do specialize in Dynamics 365, specifically customer experience. So I cover our sales and marketing, or what we call that today, customer insights. And my focus is really helping our enterprise clients transform their customer journeys and drive results through cutting edge technology. I work across multiple industries, but if I will have to specify three top, it would be professional services, energy, and automotive.
Oh, great, great. And so again, if I heard you right, dynamics is sort of your focus. I am curious, and we'll get into this in a bit, but do you do a lot of, or do you talk a lot with customers around Copilot?
Yeah, absolutely. Copilot is on top of mind for all of our customers. And I mean, in the last couple of years, we have Copilots across each of business applications modules. So
Mhm.
whether that's sales, marketing, service, we have them all. I think that's something that customers always wants to explore. And as we're rolling out, I would say monthly new features, we have to be ready to show that to the customers, and they're ready to jump in and explore or do the trials and learn about the copilots.
Well, I'm very excited to talk to you about that, Sarah. But before we do that, Taha, maybe you could take a moment and introduce yourself in your role.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. My name is Taha Husain. Similar to Sarah, I'm also a senior technology specialist inside of BizApps. My focus, although, is on our service workloads. So that includes field service, CCAS, customer service. And a little bit more about my background is prior to being at Microsoft, I was in the partner ecosystem doing the actual implementation of these technologies. So I did that for about 4 years before being in Microsoft for 4 years. So I have a long history when it comes to Microsoft's business applications.
I love that, Taha. And I think what's really unique, and I think what you'll bring to this discussion is that you have both perspectives. You've seen it from the partner side, you've seen the challenges of working for Microsoft from the outside, and now you're on the inside. So I imagine you have a unique perspective of the partner sort of challenges that they're faced with and how they can bring value to y'all. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm absolutely excited to dive deep.
Yeah, and maybe I could ask Taha a question then about your role. So, in your day-to-day job, what is the type of things you're focused on? I'm assuming it's more on the technical side, but maybe you could take just a minute and share with our audience what a technical specialist does inside of Microsoft in sort of a high-level day-to-day.
Absolutely, Rob. So I think it's two phased. I would say one of them is because we're a product company, we're constantly innovating. So a good portion of our job is keeping up with enablement. We have enablement teams that are constantly doing training. So on a week to week basis, we'll have at least 2 to 3 meetings where we're joining those meetings and getting enablement around when specific features within our workloads are coming out. So we can make sure when we're talking to customers that are specifically excited about a certain feature, we know how to, how get keeping them informed on when something's coming out or get them included in a private or public preview of those features. But outside of that, it's we have a set of accounts that we are responsible for. So our jobs are to make sure if they have existing workloads within business applications, we're making sure they're successful with them, and then finding rooms, as Microsoft likes to call them, rooms in the house where
Yeah.
we can do more expansion of our products and provide them, with value. So that's essentially what we do. And I can get more granular. I think a lot of that is doing demos, but also doing a lot of technical Q&As with those customers that we're responsible for.
Yeah, I think you summarized it perfectly. I would just like to add one more point, and that's that when the customer gives us a feedback on some feature or functionalities that they're missing or they would like to improve, we also work with our product team to provide that from the field, how they can improve our products. So I think Taha summarized it perfectly, but this is one more thing that we have after we engage on the technical aspect that we can give to give the word what customers share to our product teams that and engineering team that they can improve.
Right. So you almost become this conduit for the customer to feedback inside of Microsoft, features that might be beneficial or things that they would love to see in the product. So a follow-up question, maybe Sarah, you could address this is I'd love to know, do you in your role sort of day to day work with the partner community? Are you reaching out or working side by side with Microsoft partners?
Yeah, absolutely. I think partners play a significant role in my day-to-day work. Like from initial discussions to implementation, they're just integral part for that delivering client success. I would say we love the partners to engage with us early on, even into discovery stages, even before we go to that demos and proof of concept, and ride along or be our partners 50-50% if they can achieve. Like Microsoft, we do the demos, as Taha said, but we love having partners from the get-go because it helps to gain the trust with the client. And then later on, they don't have to do a rework where they're going to do again the discovery if they are selected based on the client's needs and everything. So we love to have them. And again, they probably bring that industry specific knowledge and implementation that will help customer to really trust them. And later on, it makes the process easier to have that successful implementation.
I love that, and I think one of the things that I'd love for you, either you, Sarah, or Taha, to weigh in on is your ability to scale. Does the partner community help you scale? And I imagine you have a fair number of accounts, or at least you have a lot of different people within your accounts that you have to work with and interact with. And does the partner community help you scale to be more successful in your role?
Yeah,
Yeah, Taha, I'll let you take on it.
sounds good. Please layer on. I would say absolutely. And I think I'll give an example of last year about how integral partners are. So Microsoft announced CCAS last year,
Hmm.
and it was a new area of business applications that Microsoft was entering, and it got our customer base really, really, really excited.
Hmm.
But when it comes to my workload, there's only 5 of us, and there's only so many customer
Oh,
conversations that we can have as a technical specialist from Microsoft for our account. So that is where partners were so crucial for us to be brought in and help lead those customer conversations, not only from a product perspective, but like Sarah said, building trust around industry and understanding business processes and business logic of a specific industry. So not only can they be informed on the technology, but understanding like how is this technology gonna translate into impacting your business. So I think partners are crucial, and I love working with partners as much as I can.
right. I love that. And I think that that's something partners need to understand is that one of the big pieces of value they bring to you is your ability to, connect with all these different customers over, a period of time. You can't be everywhere at once. So, I think that's critically important. I do want to dig in. You mentioned an acronym CCAS there. Maybe you could take a minute and just share with the partner community what that is and how that fits into the Dynamics ecosystem.
Absolutely. So CCAS essentially is contact center as a service,
Hmm.
and where it fits in the ecosystem is something it layers on top of a CRM when it comes to customer service. Say it's a system of record uh, where you have your customer information, but when it comes to engaging with those customers, historically there's been other offerings in the marketplace where you can have your agents talk to your customers when it comes to live chat, phone calls, social media channels. And Microsoft wanted to enter this space, so they did that with CCaaS. So that sits on top of your CRM, where your agents now have a single pane of glass where they can engage with the customers without having to use a separate vendor. So essentially, it's providing value by housing not only your data inside of the Microsoft cloud, but also managing your channels on top of that.
I love that. And I mean, I imagine that has to be a huge point of interest for our customer base because, I mean, you think about the legacy contact centers that are out there. I mean, you have to be having these conversations all day, every day. I got to imagine.
Yeah, so many, too many. And that, again, I'm gonna say we need partner. We've loved using partners in helping with those conversations, because not only so a fun fact, actually partners in our ecosystem helped to develop the CCaaS technology. We didn't develop it
Wow.
alone. We had partners that were co-innovating with us. So I think that they are so helpful in not only, scaling, like you said, but
Yeah.
innovation as well. But yeah, tons of conversation. It's excited where we can be in the next couple of years with CCaaS.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, I come from a legacy voice background, and I can't tell you the number of legacy PBXs and contact centers I've run into. So, I have to imagine this is going to be another huge growth area for Microsoft. So, with that, though, Sarah, I would love to touch on Copilot because everybody's talking about it. It is everywhere we go in the Microsoft world. So, maybe you can talk to me a minute about kind of your view or how you're leveraging Copilot and how your customers are leveraging Copilot in the Dynamics ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I cover customer experience. So I'll
Hmm.
split the co-pilots into two sections, right? Focus on the
Sure.
sales side. I think the co-pilot for sales has been huge because now customers don't have to go to the CRM anymore. They can just work out of the productivity tools, right? They
Yeah.
can be in Outlook and access that data from CRM all day along, or they can even push the update. So customers love that because now they're sitting in one screen and being as productive. They're making sure the data is clean because they're making those updates. But the co-pilots are so intelligent now that they can even recognize that. Let's say that email you receive from a client and the budget is different than what the number you have in a CRM, it can tell you, hey, you may have to want to push that update. It's not accurate. You have 300,000 budget that your customer said, but in your CRM, it's actually 250. So it's so intelligent that it's following you throughout and reminding you what you need to do. So that's on the Copilot for sales specifically that I like. When we think about customer insights, which is the traditional marketing and CDP, customer data platform, that's where we come into more like helping you to be productive, more creative, maybe even replacing a query writing with where you can describe your segment by using natural language, right? So that's huge. That's a time saving. It's efficiency. People don't have to be as technical anymore. Like if we think about customer data platform, you really need to know the data. You need to know to query stuff. Now with the Copilot, that can be way easier. And again, they're so intelligent that they're giving you a suggestion and prompt. So our customers are really seeing the efficiency, time saving, which is critical for them in today's very fast and evolving environment.
I love that. I think that's so important for people to recognize or partners to recognize is that, you were able to just at the drop of a hat articulate the value proposition. I've got to imagine from where you said you need partners, just like we were talking with Taha, to be able to communicate that on your behalf. So, I'd love for you to maybe weigh in on some of the value or some of the ways that partners bring value to you in your role.
Yeah, I would say when we think about the value partners bring, it falls into two categories, right? Industry specific knowledge and then technology specific skills. And I would say you cannot have one without the other. You
Mhm.
need the industry specific knowledge because customers going to ask you, have they done that before? Can I see the customer success stories? And then, of course, the technology specific skills, right? They need to be very skilled in the areas or technology that the customer is looking. So that this dual expertise really ensures that clients are not only getting the right tools, but also strategies and skills needed to leverage partners effectively. That's what we're looking. I also love the partners who try to stay ahead with the technology, because again, we drop new features and functionalities specifically in the co-pilots monthly. So you need to be ready to educate customers on that, show them how to use the best. There is a lot of security, right, that goes underneath when it comes to the co-pilot that customers are concerned. So partners who can educate on that and be with us on the calls when we're sharing that information and ensuring that clients are feeling comfortable, because we do work on the West Midwest side in the United States, but all our clients are global clients. So they work into different countries, which have different regulations, different needs. So we see those challenges. And then when partners can address them effectively, that's really a win-win situation for clients, us, and of course, partners.
I love that. I love that. And so I'd love to pivot a little bit now. And Taha, I'm going to ask you this question is if a partner reaches out to you, so a new partner that you've never met before, what are the types of questions you would have for them? Or what are the sort of things going in the back of your mind that you'd want answered about that partner? And Sarah, feel free to weigh in, but Taha, I'd love to hear from you, kind of what you think or the questions you ask a new partner that you've never met before.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I think for me, it's credentialization, right? I get you're a new partner, but where are the resources and the mind share coming from? So their history with the Microsoft ecosystem is very, very important to me. So that's something I try to understand. I think something else I try to understand is their sales process a little bit, like how quickly can you are willing to engage with us. I think agility and speed of engagement is so important in the world we are in today, with AI coming out and like everybody wants to be having conversations all the time. I think you can't be a partner that's, someone's reaching out, you're waiting 5 days to reach back out because you need certain approval. So
Yeah.
engagement and credentialization, I think, are the top two things that I look to ask for. And then, I mean, if they're a new partner, it'll be hard to have social proof, but like maybe as an individual, if they have individuals who've done successful implementations, like even bringing that social proof is important to be like, hey, I was on this big global transformation for a global manufacturer as an individual is important enough, because I think not only to me as a as a Microsoft resource it's important, but that will, translate to the customer as well. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
this person's done this before.
Yeah. It's not their first rodeo.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I just want to point out, the speed of engagement is so critical, especially, and you rightly pointed this out, is that in today's world, people need things to happen quickly. And I think along the lines of MSEM, the Microsoft customer engagement model, being able to understand what that is and to help you quickly bring a customer through that model is so important. So I love that, the agility, speed of engagement, credentials, and then just the social proof are a lot of really important things. Sarah, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I think Taha covered that perfectly, but I also like to see that partners are embracing the shared mission that we
Mhm.
have at Microsoft, and also putting the client's best interest first, because our team, West Midwest, embodies our Microsoft mission by being transparent, clear, client focused, and we always deliver what's the best for the client success. That's never negotiable. So I love seeing that partners who put that and have that mindset as well, because that approach strengthens clients' relationship, and it often leads to the successful that they're selected down, and then of course successful implementation later on, what we're looking. So I would say our team is focused on that. We're always advised to put clients' success and needs on top of like as a first take, and I like to see that the partners do this as well.
Sarah, I think you nailed the whole call right there. It's really that mission driven, running your sales cycles with the values that, the shared values we all have for the customer success. And then just being mission driven, to take that customer on a journey and to really deliver for that customer. So I want to take a moment and thank you both. This has been so insightful, and I think you both brought such great insights from the business applications perspective, from the role of the technical specialist inside of Microsoft. So again, I want to thank you for that. And one last question is, if people do want to reach out and connect with you, is LinkedIn the best way to do that?
Yes, absolutely. Taha and I are always on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out and connect. We also have our YouTube channel, Dynamics 365 Unlocked. So for any insights that can help clients or even partners to achieve business transformation or see what our work West Midwest team does. So feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn again. And thank you for having us today. Taha, feel free to add if you have anything else.
Yeah, no, I always look forward to the new connections I get. So please reach out and get connected with me. But yeah, I want to thank you, Rob. I appreciate the conversation we had. This was really, really insightful for me as well.
Great, my pleasure. And I look forward to staying connected with you both and to the next time we get